Sonic Advance, I have a little bit of bias for, because this one was my very first Sonic game. This is like one of the earliest games I ever remember playing it, period. Yeah. I had it on the Game Boy. I was infinitely fascinated by it. I never really got past like the Neo Green Hill Zone often, because as a kid I was shit at games. But like...
Weren't we all?
Absolutely. But like I feel like this is the true like original Sonic 4, because it's like a perfect continuation of 3 and Knuckles. You have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and now you have Amy. They have their movesets, but they have new little things like Amy plays differently in that you don't jump on enemies, you use her hammer. So it has to be a timing thing. And it's like a new way to play, like makes you think about how you're approaching each level, each enemy. And it felt very original with the proper amount of callbacks to the point where I personally place it in A tier. Sonic Advance is great.
That's solid.
Yeah. So, here we have Sonic Colors, and this is another one of like, there's a DS version and there's a Wii version. I'm personally not a big fan of the DS version. I think, it's funny because when it first came out, there were a fair amount of people saying, oh, the DS version's better because it's just Sonic Rush 3, but it's like, this is where Dimps, the development company, it was sort of starting to like really fall off, and it was starting to show. Like everything after Rush Adventure by this company was a decline. Like, here's Colors DS, Generations 3DS, Lost World 3DS. It was a company that started out really good as like making supplemental Sonic games, and then they just, I don't know what happened. So like DS Colors, I personally am not a fan of. Sonic 06, that's a S tier, obviously.
Yeah. Be realistic. What do you feel in your heart? Don't do it based off the synopsis of what other people think.
So here's the thing. I'm going to be as transparent as possible. I love a lot of Sonic 06's ideas. I love Silver the Hedgehog. I was interested in the world or the area it takes place in, Soliana. I like a lot of smaller things, like the HUD. Like, that was a really futuristic looking thing. Like, when you press the start button, it does the woo. Like, I like those futuristic sounds. It made it feel like, even though it's shit, it did feel like the next generation of Sonic, which is what they were going for. But I'm not going to be one of the people that deludes myself into thinking it's a bad game. Do I think it's as bad as some people say? It depends on what they refer to. I feel like there are a lot of infamous glitches that you have to go out of your way to find, and that you probably won't find on like a casual playthrough or playing the way that Sega intended. It's not a good game. I will stand by that. I love a lot of its ideas, but that doesn't excuse a poor product.
That was very fair. I was very curious as to where you were going to put that.
Sonic Lost World?
I hear that's one of the top tier games in the series.
Nah. This is the same people that like made the advanced games, and then Rush, and then the Colors DS, then Generations 3DS. I think out of all of them, and like in terms of like the super main series, like the big Sonic Team games, I think that Lost World is the weakest. I don't exactly dislike it. I certainly don't hate it, but I feel like it's the least, I guess, Sonic game. And I feel like this will also apply to, let me add Lost World to D, like both Lost Worlds to D tier, because like, I feel like this game kind of encapsulates everything that's not Sonic. Like, it feels slow, or at least comparatively slow. The platforming doesn't feel very engaging. Way too heavy reliance on like gimmicks in each level. So like for the frozen area, like the snow area, you first go off in like a frozen factory. That's cool. And then the second level is you're in the sky, but you're a snowball, and you control like ass. And for that entire level, you're in the snowball. No real explanation. Sonic just spin dashes, just gets all the snow around him. That's the level. And the level after that is, it's a casino. There's no snow or ice mechanics. It's just a casino. And then like the desert level. Yeah. I don't understand. They probably just wanted their like casino night level, like from Sonic 2. And then...
That's not how that works.
Exactly. And it's just as bad in Area 2 because it's a desert area. You know, desert, perfectly fine. And then the second one is honeycombs, like beehive honeycombs, and like bamboo trees. And then I understand what they were trying to do with Act 3, but it's not funny. When the level starts and it has the title card, it has the extra S in it, so it's Dessert Zone. So you're in a giant area of, like, cookies and cake and ice cream and stuff. Mind you, this is in the desert area of the game.
I'm hungry.
I'm sorry. Like, levels... I know that from interviews from the time, they said, we want Mario players, but, like, Sonic is the anti-Mario. Why are you trying so hard for this game to find something that's just intrinsically not going to work?
It's like Crash wanting Mario players.
Exactly, like Crash wanting Ratchet and Clank players.
Yeah.
So, Sonic Advance 2. I'd say it's roughly on the same level as the original Sonic Advance, but I would personally put it in B tier, not because the game is bad, but, like, it improves a lot of things. Like, they do a little trick system, like, when you jump off a ramp, you can, like, do tricks and stuff, and it's just, like, more high energy and stuff. So, like, okay, for example, when you start a level, when it does the 3, 2, 1, go, Sonic has this little animation that goes like this, like...
Oh, you gonna do it? You gonna do it?
Like an Olympic runner, like...
That was hot.
Like, stuff like that's really cool, and it's the stuff that sticks with you, because it's a lot of personality. And it's also the first game of Cream the Rabbit, who was a good character, very fun. It was solid, and it was a good sequel. The only thing that makes me put it below Advance is because of the personal attachment that I have with the first one, I will admit. It's very, very irrational, but it's just what it is. Sonic Mania! And I guess this is also Sonic Mania Plus. But of course, I'm also going to toss that into S tier.
Woo!
I don't think I've met a single person who says, oh, I just flat out don't like Mania. Some people are more like, it's okay. Or, like, some people have, like, a complicated-ish history with it. But, like, I don't think, for as much as people do make the fair criticism of Sega pandering to nostalgia for the classic Sonic games, you can't deny the great things that Mania did for Sonic. There's a reason it's the highest rated Sonic game since Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like, even if, like, you don't agree with reviewers of, like, oh, but Adventures were good and Colors and Generations, like, from, I guess, not just commercial, but critical, from, like, big reviewer standpoints, Mania is a fat dub. Absolutely fat dub. And it's good to play and it's fun. Sonic Chaos is another interesting one. It was one of the exclusive Game Gear games. Like, it didn't have a Genesis equivalent. It was made specifically for Game Gear.
It was a console seller, essentially.
Yeah, it was alright. It was just like, it was literally just another Sonic game. And it played well, it was cute, it was fun. I don't remember too much about it because I played a good chunk of these when I was like 14, and I've gone back to a lot of them, but some of them are just sort of in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, that was good, kind of thing. Okay, this is the one that's going to get me canceled.
This is the one I've seen you play the most.
Don't remind me. Okay, because, like, you ask the average Sonic fan, it goes here. In fact, people think it's worse than 06. People think it's worse than Rise of Lyric. People think that it's, like, the worst thing to ever grace Sonic. I'm going to put it in C tier. The reason people...
Like that's where it belongs.
I personally feel like it's where it belongs too, because I will say this. If you came to me saying, play the entirety of Sonic Forces, or play just Sonic's story in Sonic 06, any day of the week, it's going to be Forces. I can at least say it's not, I guess, complete in that it doesn't feel like a full experience.
But the game works.
That's the big thing for me. The
broken.
Game functions. I can go through any level in the game and not be afraid of...
It's just short.
Yeah, it's short. And I understand why people are like, oh, we waited 4 years because Lost World came out 2013, and then Forces was 2017, so it's like, this is all you have to show for it. I'm not excusing the development process.
It's a game, though.
True.
You paid for a game that works.
Exactly. Like, that's my big thing.
And you can make characters and replay the game.
I think that, like, there are some things that I like from a nostalgic level from 06. Like, I love 06's soundtrack. I love Silver the Hedgehog and that he's playable in his debut game. But as an overall package, I just think that, like, Forces is, like, I wouldn't say solid, but like you said, it works.
It's all right.
It is completely all right.
Why in the world would you put 06 or any of his other ones ahead of Forces?
I think that's
Other than to be petty.
I think a lot of people do it to be petty because, especially on Sonic Twitter, people, anything that they see of Forces, anything that like even has the slightest bit of DNA, people will freak out, point at it, and say, "Oh God, this game's ruined because it has like 1 millipixel of Forces. They reused an asset from Forces. It's bad, guys. It's bad. It's bad." I think, and I'm gonna get some hate for this because people are like, opinions change, but I think the Sonic fandom has a really bad habit of saying a game is shit when it comes out, give it 5 to 10 years later, people come around on it, and then they're like, why don't they make games like this one anymore? Because that's kind of what happened with Sonic Unleashed. When Unleashed came out, like HD Unleashed, people hated it. Some people did call it worse than Sonic 06. It's so weird.
It's just petty.
It's absolutely petty. But now, and I will admit, because a lot of Sonic fans that first played it have grown up now, have found their voices, Unleashed for a lot of people is the golden standard for 3D Sonic, and they're like, why don't you port Sonic Unleashed to PC? Why don't you make a continuation to Sonic Unleashed proper? It's like, because people hated it when it first came out. And I just kind of feel like,
You tell me.
yeah, like, I know people aren't going to view Forces in the same light that they do Unleashed now, but I feel like by the time maybe and I'm not even saying that Frontiers is going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like with a bit more time, maybe with a couple other main series Sonics, I think people are going to step away, look at it from a different viewpoint, maybe be like, Forces wasn't the worst thing.
It's gonna age well. It's not broken.
Right.
So, I mean, like, Sonic 06 was already broken.
Yeah.
Never got fixed. Of course it's not going to age well. It's aged awful.
Yeah.
But Forces is a complete game. I know it's been released on PlayStation Plus for free. I'm pretty sure it's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
You can get it on Steam, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Steam, yeah.
So, it's going to age fine. And hear it from Evan, I mean, like, if you didn't like it when it came out, it's been, what, 2-3 years?
5. It's going to be 5 years by November. I know, right?
Replay it before Frontiers comes out. Maybe you'll
appreciate some
more.
of the things.
Hey!
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Appreciate it more.
And I'm not saying like, oh, I know you're all going to love it, but it's like,
Oh.
I feel like people nitpick and like every conversation, or like a lot of conversations that revolve around 3D Sonic, I've seen Sonic fans turn to and be like, oh, Forces. And it's like, Sonic fans hate when people constantly bring up Sonic 06. And they're like, bro, that was like 15, 16 years ago. Let it go, let it die. Which I agree with. But then we're like, Sonic Forces is the reason that Sonic is in the shitter nowadays. Sonic Forces is the reason Sonic's not popular. And it's like,
just because it didn't meet your expectations doesn't mean it's bad.
right. And at least they didn't charge you $60 for it. It was $40 when it came out. To cleanse the palate.
Good game.
Sonic Generations is S tier.
Never played it.
I think it is. I think if you want the like most quickest, streamlined sort of game that doesn't have like too many bells and whistles that could go wrong or could change your opinion, I would suggest Generations. Especially now, because on Xbox Series S and X, it got the FPS boost, so console players can have it at 60 FPS. I would say, like, of course, I'm not saying anything like Adventure 1 or 2 was a bad entry point, but I feel like Sonic Generations is strictly Sonic. So if you don't care much for alternate playstyles or even for Sonic's other friends, if you want something that's just like Sonic, I'd say Generations is like the perfect entry point. Shadow the Hedgehog! I'm gonna piss some people off with this one. Yeah.
That's the game where the guy got a gun.
Yeah. Shadow the Hedgehog, ever since it came out, has been really divisive. I have known people who hate it, but I've also known people who love it. And, like, for some of the people I talk to who love it, they're like, oh yeah, that was my favorite Sonic game. And I'm like, nice. There's something I just intrinsically like about this. I will go on the record to say, I like when Sonic tries to be darker or like edgier, not necessarily like full. Like I don't want Tails to be in the next Sonic game. I killed that fucking bastard. Like I don't want that, but I feel like Sonic could, in general, work with slightly older audiences. Like I would not care if in Frontiers they toss in a hell or a single dam. I think that's just fine.
Kill Eggman.
I'm gonna kill Robotnik. Yeah, like he doesn't even call him by Eggman anymore. It's like, nah, I'm calling you by your real last name. This is fucking personal.
I've realized that out of this whole list, I've only played 4 games.
Well, then I will have to fix that with your permission.
I am sorry.
No, don't worry. I'm always happy to educate you on the ways of the Sonic.
Destroy me.
Nah, I mean, like, if you haven't played many of the games, it's fine. Like, it depends on what you say about them that will get them upset with you. But if you're like, hey,
replay Sonic Forces, it isn't that bad.
He do be spitting facts, though. Sonic CD. Now, this is one that, some people will agree with me, some people won't. But, this is definitely the weakest, in my opinion, out of the classic Sonic games. I don't know if you've seen the entire playthrough I did with
not, but I've watched some of it.
I get mad at the end. This one did not age well for me. You know what? I even said in this interview, so back when game trailers was still a thing, it was Screw Attack. Screw Attack.
Ooh, that's a throwback.
Yeah, on their top 5 best Sonic games, Sonic CD was number 1, and so I was like, oh wow, because these guys said it was good, it must be good. And then I got older, and when I played it, and when I really started to completely form my own opinions, I was just like, Sonic CD is kind of weak. I think it's like the least memorable out of, like, I feel like its level design doesn't do well, because it wants you to kind of explore and do the time travel, like going to the past or the future. But I feel like the level design doesn't always accommodate that, because to go to these different timelines, you gotta build up enough speed after passing a sign for a certain amount of time. So like for 5 seconds, you have to be going at full speed, but the level design doesn't really accommodate for that. And it's not even a case of like, oh, well, like Sonic was originally kind of built like an arcade or a Mario game where you're like, you learn the level and you can do faster times each playthrough. Like, CD didn't feel like that. They'll just place a rock or like they'll place a spring in the worst possible places, and it doesn't translate as well when you're going to these different time periods. It just felt like a slog to play through, especially like in the levels where it's like a lot of it is just bumpers, so you're just like boom, 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 boom. And it's like, may I just go forward, please? It's not a very pleasant experience. So for the next few ones, we're getting into some like obscure ones. Tails' Adventure was, again, their attempt to sort of put other Sonic characters into the spotlight for a bit. Nothing huge, but just like little escapades for the Game Gear. I remember not being very fond of it.
Average.
Very, like, maybe a little below average, because it was a slow kind of like, it was a kind of a strategy platformer, and like, it's not a strategy game, but it's like, you had to like, set bombs and stuff, and wait for like enemies to walk into them, and you would get like a couple other traps and stuff. They were definitely trying to establish like Tails' boy geniusness and like creating inventions aspect in this game, but I don't think it worked very well, especially for like the limited console and budget.
Poopy.
Sonic R. Sonic R is a game that makes me scratch my head, and it's not even necessarily the game's fault. So, before I place it, right? When I first got on the internet, like, I started really getting on around when I was like 8 or 9. And like, when I first really looked into Sonic, everywhere I saw, Sonic R is the worst Sonic game of all time, no contest, worse than Sonic 06, worse than all of the other Sonic Game Gear games. Awful game, awful game. And then, of course, time passes, and I know people will say opinions change. But then, like, for example, when Team Sonic Racing was first announced back in 2018, that was the newest racing game. I saw so many people that were like, oh my god, it's the R from Sonic R. Oh man, they should make a new Sonic R. That was the best Sonic game. Why don't they make more like that? And it's like, people spent years shitting on Sonic R, calling it the worst thing since Satan. And now there's an entire crowd of people that are like, gee, why don't they make more unique racers like Sonic R? It's like, when it came out, people hated it. Like, I know that opinions change, but you gotta look at when games were released and what people thought of them. I put in a beat here.
Sonic B.
Sonic
More
B.
like Sonic Please cancel me.
Sonic boobs. I think
Can't say that.
Sonic breasts.
Can I get some breast?
Can I get some hedgehog breasts?
Does Sonic like breasts?
You fucking better believe it, buddy. But our controls aren't very good. I will admit it's too tanky, and for a racing game, it's not good. It only has like 5 tracks, which again, awful, especially when compared to Mario Kart and later on Crash Team Racing. But like, it's a game that's just so infinitely charming in its music and its presentation. I can't help but like it. Like, maybe it does deserve more of a C tier, but something...
Your list, Evan.
Yeah.
This is your list.
Yeah, that's true. But something about it is just like, I look back on it in a very fond way. It's a very good, relaxing game, in my opinion.
There you go.
Sonic Labyrinth. Absolutely dookie, because they do the one thing that you're not supposed to do in a Sonic game. What if Sonic, but slow? Yeah. This game from 1995 has upset my friend so much, has upset Alex so much, he's leaving to another dimension.
And now back to EvanUn0's.
So it's like an isometric view, and it's just sort of like a get to the end of like a labyrinthian level, but you're slow. And the only way that you really go fast is through the spin dash and the occasional like sort of forward dash panel. But other than that, it's a fucking slog to get through. It's like one of those... I feel like most of the Sonic Game Gear games kind of felt like, even if they weren't bad, they were just like nothing games that were just like, you know, we got this new mascot now, and kind of put him on everything. It was like that kind of thing. Tails Sky Patrol, I also remember not being very fond of. It felt like, it was weird because it felt like a really, really difficult game when I first played it. It kind of felt like a gauntlet, like every level was just like super, super hard. In fact, I believe this one didn't even come out in America originally. Like, the first time Americans got to play it was when you could unlock the Game Gear games in Sonic Adventure DX on GameCube. Not very noteworthy, in my opinion, not very, like... I feel like when they tried to make Sonic games based on other characters like Tails' games and Knuckles' Chaotix, I feel like they sort of forgot that a Sonic game, even if the characters aren't as fast as Sonic, they should still have that element of speed on it. Like... Even if we're going for a completely different genre, I feel like the game shouldn't feel slow as shit. That's my personal thing. Sonic Pocket Adventure is a fucking surprise. This was on the Neo Geo Color Pocket. Yeah, and it was one of the best, like, handheld Sonics, weirdly enough. Even though it was, like, on an obscure-ish console, I still thought it was, like, fun. I remember it has some like interesting callbacks to some of the old 2D Sonic games, and it mixed really well. It played surprisingly well. It was just a really weird thing. It's like, it was a good weird, and it came out around the same time as Sonic Adventure, but it was just like a little thing that they had on the Neo Geo Pocket Color. It was like, hey, have like a good like 8-bit Sonic 2D game. I don't know if it's necessarily 8-bit, but it looks it. I don't know if like the necessarily the bit sizes for Neo Geo games, but I remember it being good. Sonic Colors. So after playing the original a few years back with you on the channel, and then like that was...
I did not play it.
Right, yeah, there was an episode he was with me, but like, of course I bought this game at launch-ish back in 2010, and then Colors Ultimate came out. I think it is deserving of B tier. I think it is very play-it-safe Sonic, but for the time of the era, that was understandable.
If it ain't broken, fix it.
Exactly.
If it works, it works.
Because people, like, in the Unleashed reviews, they said, like, oh yeah, the daytime levels have potential. Sonic Colors is just an entire game of daytime Sonic, but with the Wisps, which were the new gimmick that have, like, since stayed. I know that, like, public opinion on it has changed. Honestly, ask certain Sonic fans about this game. Depending on who you talk to, it will have either saved Sonic, or will have either killed Sonic. It's very divisive. It's not a bad game.
Killed Sonic, they wouldn't have remastered it and re-released it, correct?
That's the thing, but they're talking about from like a certain perspective, and that's something that I could explain off camera because I don't want this next part to be just like a big, like,
Yeah, you're fine.
analysis.
You're good.
And Sonic Unleashed the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 version. Fucking trash. Get that shit out of here. That's it. That's the Sonic tier list. Thank you. This has been Gumpers. This has been EvanUn0. Bye! You know, actually, now that I reconsider it, I'm going to put Unleashed HD at S tier. I think that these are my top 10 favorite Sonic games. I guess, like, I know there are some here I would not like to separate with, but, like, if I was put on an island with 10 Sonic games I had to play for the rest of my life, and of course this is, like, not including some of the spin-offs, but in terms of main-ish series, these 10. These 10, I think, are just, like, incredibly either quintessential Sonic, or they're games that I loved a lot because of what they did. Unleashed on 360, PS3, it was such a big passion project, and I do wish that it had better reception at the time that it was released, because you look back at that game now, you read a lot about, like, when they were at the game developers conferences, like, talking about all of the work that went into it, and the fact that they made their own lighting engine for the game that they would use and sort of remaster and remake into a new lighting engine that's being used for Frontiers. Like, Unleashed had a really big impact on Sonic, and I think, in a lot of ways, it was a really good thing, and parts of its influence are still seen in the series today. So I guess that's going to do it for my list of Sonic games, at least for this chunk of them. I really hope that you guys all enjoyed that.
Whoa.
What?
We're missing one.
Well, which one?
Sonic Spinball.
What?
Sonic Spinball.
What about it?
That's an easy S tier.
You kidding me? Say it again.
Sonic Spinball.
Say it to my fucking face one more time. Say it. I dare you. Say it.
Evan.
What?
Calm down.
No.
Calm down.
No.
Oh, you're being serious.
I mean, if you just like casually like it, fine. But
No,
it can't actually.
It's my favorite Sonic game. You know Spinball's good. You cannot deny that Spinball's good. Bro, you gotta be fucking on me. Spinball's good.
Look at
Top
this.
tier. Is this a collector's item?
Yeah.
Sonic Mania?
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Really expensive.
It's not as good as Sonic Spinball, but you know.
Damn, dude, you got some Butterfingers. Could you be dear and go pick that up for me?
You're serious.
Mm-hmm.
You're fucking on me.
No, dude, you're the one who dropped it.
Sure. Anything for my buddy.
Okay. You and your damn Butterfingers. Pick it up again. Come on.
Why are you being a dick, bro?
Just do it.
Jesus Christ. My Butterfingers. Oh, my Butterfingers.
Fuck shit outside now, will ya? I dare you. Dare you.
I see
Come on,
no hidden
start it.
evil,
Spinball.
black
Do it.
shadows on the walls, unleashed a million faces, and
Come
one
on.
by one they fall. Black-hearted evil, brave-hearted hero. I am all I am, all I am. I am. Here we go, buddy. Here we go, buddy. Here we go. Here we go, buddy. Here we go. Go. Go ahead and try to see through me. Do it if you dare. One step forward, 2 steps back. I'm there. Do it.